Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Deck Tech. So today we are talking about Sis Storm, and this is going to be a different video because it's not going to be discussing things that are very common knowledge or usual strategies. It's going to be a whole nother thing. It's going to be really new. I have never seen this before on the internet. I have been playing Magic for almost 5 years now, and I have not seen this in a single forum or combo website. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I actually named this Sis Storm. Okay, so before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about the more conventional one, which is the Bro Storm. Okay, so how it works is the following way. Let's say you have a card such as Cloudstone Curio. So Cloudstone Curio says that whenever you play a non-artifact permanent, or whenever it enters the battlefield under your control, you bounce another permanent that shares a permanent type with it to your hand. Okay, so what that means is that maybe I want to bounce whatever. I get an elf, costs 1, and so because I get an elf that costs 1, it pays for itself. And then I bounce another thing, but if this gives me 1, then I can pay for this one. So that means that this one paid for this one, and then this one pays for itself, so it's gonna pay for the next one. So I play this one, bounce this one, play this one, bounce this one, play this one, bounce this one, whichever combination that you want. Okay, so this is gonna be very, very useful for tapping and untapping. Okay, which means that for it to be able to pay for itself in that same turn, we need there to be a haste enabler. Okay, so a haste enabler is going to be very, very useful. So the next thing that we want to do is that's going to be creating a storm count. Okay, so if we have something like an ETB draw such as Selvala or any of the plethora, there's actually a whole nother video of those, but you can actually, Beast Whisper is a great one. Okay, but yeah, you have literally more than 10 of these where you just draw and draw and draw because you have been playing creatures, or they are entering the battlefield, or you cast them, or they're just there and they're big enough that get you a draw, just like Selvala says. Okay, so you're gonna be getting a ton of draw, and then every time you play something, you return something and you draw in the process. That's gonna help you draw out your whole deck and then play your whole deck, and then you go infinite in mana, infinite in draw, infinite in damage or attacks, or whatever it is that you want to do. That is the conventional Bro Storm. That is the CEDH Selvala deck. That is what everyone knows that elves can do. It's a really, really strong strategy, and it's one of the best in mono green. Okay, but today what I'm bringing you is kind of parallel to that. Okay, so first of all, yes, once you have these, you can also untap them to make infinite mana. These are also outlets to get rid of those that mana, right? That infinite mana. But there's something different this time that people don't really take into account. For example, let's say you have that infinite mana. Well, Cloudstone Curio says whenever a non-artifact permanent, and people usually say, oh, it's not an artifact, that means land? Well, you can only play a certain amount of land, so that's not really gonna work. And then they kind of like stay away from it because it's not artifacts, it's not lands, it's not creatures, it doesn't work. Because enchantments don't tend to do ETBs, okay? But when they do, they are actually really strong. So a card such as Kenrid's Transformation, once you do have that infinite mana, you can go right ahead and play a card like Kenrid's Transformation, which says enchant the creature when it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and the creature loses all abilities and is a green elk with power and toughness 3/3. Okay, so what that means is the following thing. Whenever you play this, you're gonna have to bounce, if you want to, right? As you may, but you're gonna have to bounce an enchantment. So let's say we bounce the Concordant Crossroads. Now for 1 more mana, if we have infinite mana, it doesn't matter. 1 more mana, and now we bounce Kenrid's Transformation. So now the creature that lost all its abilities and that is now the 3/3 elk, yeah, Kenrid's Transformation is gone. So the thing that was being kept from being itself is not kept anymore. But what matters is that when you bring this back up, once you play it, is going to enter the battlefield, and you're going to be drawing a card. And now this one, because of the Cloudstone Curio, gets triggered. So you bounce it back to your hand and pay 3 and draw a card. 1, 2, 3 and draw another card. 1, 2, 3 and draw another card. Okay, and that's how you can draw the whole deck up. Okay, so that's what happens when you use Cloudstone Curio with enchantments. But the requirement is that you already need to have infinite mana. So Brostorm is kind of like a requirement to that, right? Once you have infinite mana here, then you can do that. Well, there is another alternative, which is Planeswalkers. That is also another non-artifact permanent. That is not a land, not an artifact, not a creature, and not an enchantment, okay? So very few people have managed to understand that, and the ones that have done it only with Chandra, which is a ritual kind of Planeswalker. So because she gives mana, then people tried it with Cloudstone Curio. But Nissa is actually the OG of giving mana in a certain way. So Nissa, what she does is she can untap lands. Every Nissa except for 2 actually does that, and there are a lot of Nissas, and it's she's the only one that can do that except for this one-off Garruk. So Garruk can untap 2 target lands, which means that if you have a mana doubler, the taps and untaps that they do are actually going to net positive, and that's where you get that infinite mana. I'll show you an example. If I have Garruk, which costs 4 and untaps 2 target lands, then I play it, and with any of these 3 doublers, what's going to happen is I'm going to net 0. Now, because I played this, one of these are gonna go up, right? So this nets me 0, but it triggers Cloudstone Curio. Now, if I play Nissa, it's -1, right? But whenever I do play her, this goes up, and now we know this is net 0. And this one untaps 4 target lands, which means that this generates 8 with any of these 3, 8 or more. So 8 minus 5, she pays for herself and nets 3. Same thing is going to happen with this one, and she is actually a doubler herself, so you don't even need these doublers. She's going to be quite more than enough. So what you do is you use this one, untap the lands, use this one, untap the lands, use this one, untap the lands, and you're going to keep bouncing between these 2 or these 2 or these 2. Okay, you're going to keep doing that in such a way that you're going to net positive with one of these additionally. Okay, so that's like a 3-card combo, 4-card combo. Okay, it's not quite CEDH at Selvala, but it is a thing and it does work. So it might be what's making this deck fringe, because everything else is pretty much CEDH. But yeah, that's what this deck is trying to do. Okay, and it's gonna be storming from different aspects, from Aeve trying to do food chain, from Aeve trying to do like infinite creatures into this and trying to get like a turn 3 win, from Selvala doing stuff, Ashaya doing stuff, and then you got all these guys, Steamer, Sabertooth, and Kogla doing storm, and now you finally have this last piece that was missing, which is what I call the Sis Storm. Okay, Bros because of the elves, right? Because all these dorks, but Sis because of Nissa. Okay, so except for that one Garruk. Or is it Garruk or is it Garruk? I think it's Garruk, but it could be Garruk. And so yeah, except for this one guy, all of them are only going to be untapping for net positive. So that means that it's a pretty good deal. And so yeah, without further ado, let me know what you guys thought. Had you guys seen this before? Have you guys played with this before? All these outlets, such as Staff of Domination, or even something like Walking Ballista, or even Genesis Wave, or maybe even Finale of Devastation, getting you a Craterhoof Behemoth. They all come from the same place, okay? And it's going to be the outlet for infinite mana that you generate with either Brostorm or Sis Storm, okay? So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you guys have seen that before. I have never seen it. That's why I'm saying I coined this, because I have never seen it in 5 years, not on a single place in the whole internet. Okay, so yeah, comment, tell me your favorite part about it. Tell me what else you could do with it, because there's many more things. There's many Planeswalkers that do a ton of things. For example, these two Garriks, they actually create green beasts, so you can also go infinite tokens. And yeah, there are other planeswalkers. So tell me your favorite planeswalker to do Sis Storm with, and what you think of this combo, okay? And yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.